Hey, this is AskFred64 bringing another viewer email to you. This one's from AJ, and AJ writes very simply, "Hey Fred, what do you think about this whole global warming crap? You think it's real or you think it's just a farce?" AJ, I'm glad you asked, because I tell you the honest truth, I did a little research, 15, 20 minutes worth, and global warming is an actual thing. It's actually happening, but a lot of scientists believe that it's a cycle. It's happened before, millions of years ago. Happened, comes around, settles, comes around again. The ozone opens up, just like inlets open up and close again on barrier islands all the time. It's a natural thing. It's not the end of the world. It's a phenomenon, but it does happen. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of times it does change the landscape. If global warming does melt the ice caps, the water level will rise and the world could be underwater for a while. So it's not a good thing. Now, if you've watched the news in the last 2 months, you're going to see things like AOC, that crazy lunatic, talking about the new Green Deal. Read that, because it's like if you ever bought a car, a plane, or a boat, you got to get rid of it because no more fossil fuels. She's just cutting it off. And, cow farts. Seriously? She's blaming meat eaters for the demand on beef, and the cows are putting more methane in the air. But what she doesn't understand is that's not the problem. The problem is that the way they store the manure is creating more bacteria, putting more methane, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And then you get this new drama queen, this poor kid. They're using her as a puppet. I'm told, I read that she's got some issues, Asperger's, depression, a couple other little handicaps. And she's very dramatic, and she's a cute kid, so they put her out there as a puppet. Check this out.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People
that kid's
suffering.
Parents should be shot.
People are dying.
Your kid is a special needs kid, and then you take her and you parade her out in front of the UN and the world, and now she's going to be, it's gone viral, so now it's going to be even worse. You can't do that, man. I'm not saying keep them sheltered, but they have to live a somewhat normal life, and that's not going to help. So, like I said before, the new Green Deal calls for the getting rid of all fossil fuels. What are you going to do? People are, I'm going to get a Tesla because it's fully electric. There's no gasoline involved. Well, I'll tell you what. This is how this works. Yeah, you drive your Tesla home, right? You get it in your driveway. You got this special outlet. It's like 30 amps of electricity. You plug it into your fucking car for 10 hours. Well, that plug is connected to your house, which is connected to your lines that run back to the grid system. The grid system runs back to a generator, and that generator, guess what that's powered by? That's right, fossil fuels. So what are you doing? It probably takes a gallon of fossil fuels to equal a half gallon's worth of power in electric for your fucking car. So you're actually doing less, good for the world by doing that. It's just so stupid. The Prius, on the other hand, you don't have to plug it in. So the engine plus the braking, dynamic braking, helps it run on electricity, so that might actually be a step forward. But the Tesla is totally reliant on power from your house or a charging station, and that all comes from fossil fuels right now. So you want to do something positive? Get a program set up, a more aggressive program than we already have. Take some money and invest it into companies to develop better solar power, more wind farms, and more hydroelectric plants. I mean, you have land. Everybody's like, oh, you know what? That farmer, he's not going to farm anymore. I don't want it to develop. Don't put houses there. Put solar farms up. They don't pollute, and they look pretty cool, They go for miles and miles. It's just solar panels. If you live in an area with a wind farm, it's actually pretty majestic. I mean, these towers are 80 to 100 feet high. Some of them are higher. And they have these giant propellers on them that are silent. You know what they say? This is what they sound like, right? Listen close. That's it, man. You could sleep through that. You could put a tent underneath that thing and sleep all night without a problem. They don't pollute. They don't take up much room because it's just a post. I mean, you put a couple on an acre. I mean, you got enough electricity to light a city. And then there's hydroelectric. Anywhere you have a waterfall, you could put hydroelectric power. Anywhere you have a river, you could put hydroelectric power. It's that simple. This water is going to be running forever, and it's a reusable resource, okay? The water comes from, apparently, inevitably, mountains, right? The snow. Snow melts, comes down to the river, goes over that waterfall, generates electricity, goes out, evaporates, comes back, and drops back on the mountains as snow or rain or whatever, comes back down the mountain, down the waterfall, over and over again. The sun rises and it sets. It rises and it sets. There's no power generated at night, but there's enough power during the day that's going to really do some good. And the wind farms, 24/7, there's always some kind of breeze. Some days there's more, some days it's less. It'll always be producing. And it's all what's already there. The sun, the wind, and the water. You don't have to add anything. Nuclear power, they say, is pretty good and pretty safe, but when it does fail, it fails big, and I personally don't like it. So AJ, that's my take on the deal. Like I said, I did extensive research. It's almost about a half hour's worth, so this is one of the ones that I really dug into pretty deep. So yes, global warming is a real thing, but it's solvable. You don't have to get rid of cars right away. We're going to be fine for another 50, 60, 70, 100 years. The sooner we get there, the better, though, right? But, let's get on it. Let's try to do it that way and see what happens. If you like this episode, be sure to hit the like button. And, of course, subscribe. This way, every time I do a new episode, you'll know about it. And if you hit this bell here, it gives you a push notification to your cell phone, tablet, or computer, whatever you use to watch me. It'll let you know before anybody else that I put out another video for you. And of course, because I'm an idiot and I don't have any ideas of my own, right up here, askfred64@gmail.com. You can always write me with a question, a comment, negative or positive. All the negative comments I just delete. So be sure in the subject matter to put negative comment and close. This way I don't have to open it, I just delete it. So that's AskFred64 on global warming. Boom. See you next time.